And we're live. Let's see if it works. If you can see me or hear me. Is it
Is
working?
it working?
Gosh. Okay.
I was actually joining.
Well, I couldn't tell because my it kept see. I couldn't can You're frozen now. Oh. Oh, why is it doing this?
How is it?
Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, okay. I think we got it. We're good?
Yes, like the connection is terrible. I don't know if it's me or you at this point, but it's definitely
I
probably
don't know. It's definitely weird over my side. I can't lie.
okay.
But yeah.
Well,
Anyway,
hello, everybody. Welcome to Total Freedom Thursday. And I got to redo the title to this video, but today we're going to be talking about emotional freedom. And I am Xaye Faith, and this is my beautiful partner, the Connector.
how y'all doing? Or how are you doing? I go
Yes.
both ways.
So let's talk about emotional freedom. What does that mean to you?
So emotional freedom. That's interesting. So for me, when I think about emotional freedom, um, it really goes down to how you are feeling and being not only in control of how you're feeling, but expressing yourself authentically as well. Just expressing how you're feeling, expressing your beingness, like being a functional human being. So when it comes to like emotions, I often, because I know a bit about brain health, so brain health, um, it kind of links with the mental health. And when it comes to emotions, emotions are a mixture of physical and mental issues.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like it deals with like, oh, if you're joyful, if you feel good, if you're depressed, if you're tired, or if you're all of these different feelings you can feel.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, it's the freedom to to control it and the freedom for the emotional power within you to be expressed, pretty much, and to empower you within your day.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Instead of allowing that emotion to dictate your life, you dictate how the emotion is. That's emotional freedom.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. How
So,
about yourself?
so I just looked up the definition of emotion. An
Mm.
emotion is any affective state of consciousness in which joy, sorrow, fear, hate, or the like is experienced as distinguished from cognitive and volitional, whatever states of consciousness. Any of the feelings of joy, sorrow, fear, hate, or love, any strong agitation of the feelings active what I can't read actuated by experiencing love, hate, fear,
Actually, yeah.
etc. So pretty much emotional freedom is the expression of how you feel, right? Is that what I just read? You know how they try to put the little thing.
I know, right?
Hold on, wait, wait,
So
wait.
yeah, it kind of ties into what I was saying about the cognitive function,
Yeah, it says
because
it.
again, it's like,
Yeah, it actually said as distinguished from cognitive states of consciousness. So honestly, emotional freedom is your well so that's what emotions are. So having emotional freedom is being able to feel how you want to feel, right? And
yeah,
I think to take it on a step further, um having control over how you feel.
yeah, the ability to control that emotional state. and to dictate how to the ability to like balance how that state can plays out in your life. So, for example, when it comes to relationships or communicating, you know, or if even just experiencing what happiness is or experiencing pleasure, you know, like the freedom to experience these emotions that make up who we are, or that make up what we can be as well.
Yeah.
Like even yeah, so even like just like for example, exercise, regular exercise like helps our mental state, helps us feel good as well. You know, it improve it like so imagine like sometimes often it's the more fit you are or the more functional your body is the more you feel good often. So like if you do a lot of yoga, you often in a better emotional state than someone who is just sedentary or just like either overweight and just lounging about. Oftentimes they're in a better emotional state and they have a more of a freedom to express their feel good factors and do what they want to do, you know.
I will
Mm-hmm.
say, in what I just read though, it's not about just the what's that of the emotional frequency total.
Emotional guidance skill.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So, but what I just read though, an emotion is just an emotion. It's not a good or bad thing. But
Mm-hmm.
um
There's
but
levels to it.
yeah, but we should definitely work towards the emotions where the more the emotions that we want to experience. So
Yeah.
emotions aren't like, I mean, there are pleasant and unpleasant, but me just thinking about it, because an emotion is just the feelings that you experience, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, yeah, there are good and bad emotions. Like, I don't think no one volunteers to say, hey, I want to be hateful and angry, and like, no one, I don't think that's anyone's goal or intention. So of course we want to work towards, being able to control our emotions to where we can feel good, because I feel like everybody
Mm-hmm.
wants to feel good, right? That's just my assumption. But I think that's just what just really stood out to me in reading the definition, is that our emotions is just what we experience. And the reason why I wanted to bring that up is because a lot of times people feel like, feeling sad or feeling angry or upset is a bad thing. And it's not. I mean, I feel like we are emotional beings. Like, we have to
Yeah.
express ourselves. So that's something that really just stood out to me, is that yes, people want to feel good, and we all want to feel good, of course. But if we are in a situation where we are upset or sad, it is healthy for us to express that emotion, because emotions are an experience. It's an emotional experience, and it's an emotional experience, expression of our experience, an emotional expression of our experience. So I think that's important to realize, like, especially like men, a lot of times they be like, oh, men can't show emotions, or you got to be tough. No, like, we need to release that stuff. We need to
Yeah.
feel our experience. Life is a journey. Life is an spiritual and an emotional journey. So we need to be able to experience and feel that. So I think that's important. But to get back on track as far as emotional freedom, for me, I think, obviously, like I said, we are going to have like bad days. We are going to have moments when we're sad in our day or month or week, whatever. Definitely take the moment to experience that. But I think having control over my emotions, not allowing somebody else's negativity or meanness or whatever to have effect. Like, if I'm having a good day, I don't want somebody else's. I want to have enough emotional control, emotional freedom, that just because you're having a bad day and you're trying to be mean to me, it's not going to change my state, because my emotional freedom is
Yeah.
coming from the inside out.
Yeah, so it's like the emotional well-being and our emotional state is it's kind of like a guiding force in terms of how our day will manifest, or how we in terms of manifest within our day or within our life as well. Because it's I remember saying this probably like 2 years ago actually.
Mm-hmm.
Like whatever it is we're feeling is a perfect reflection of what we're in the state of becoming.
Mm.
So it's like often we're becoming something we don't want because we're not in control of that feeling, or we're not guiding that feeling in the direction that we want to. And that's why you have that emotional guidance skill, because you have to guide, you're guiding that emotion. It's a frequency, you know, it's tied to your state of consciousness. And so it's like when you're often we don't really understand, like our goal is to really expand our consciousness and to really tap into what the power is. Because again, the heart, if I don't know if you heard about, like in terms of spiritual system, they often say that the heart is at the seat of the soul.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So it's
Hmm.
like especially men, we like even have a hard time expressing ourselves or being heart centered. And
Mm-hmm.
so now you see, I mean, the world is kind of messed up because of some of the people, the powers that be, are not heart centered. So
Mm-hmm.
the way society is structured is not heart centered, and it's not going in the direction of expansion or the way it can be. It's stagnant if you look around it. And when it comes to women, they should be more in their womb, and really tapping into that womb energy. You know what I'm saying? So, and it's like really, and that's where that emotional well-being comes into place. And when you can merge those energies and expand your heart energy, you expand your auric field, you expand, you express your mental atmosphere becomes enlarged. Your mental atmosphere becomes more healing. There's more of a healing atmosphere once your heart is at a balanced state. You know,
Mm-hmm.
once your emotions are at a clear level, you can actually move beyond whatever situation was holding you stagnant.
Mm-hmm.
You can move beyond any blockages that was like m- preventing you from moving to that next step, or and just not being where you know you don't want to be.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, so there's a lot of layers to what emotional freedom can represent. You know what I mean?
What's so
It's
crazy?
like just being, yeah.
I didn't even say it, but on the thesaurus.com, the synonyms were core and heart. Those two
Cool.
words, core and heart. So it's funny that I didn't even mention it, and then you just said it. But 100%, and it just makes me think of when you call me a walking heart chakra.
Mm-hmm. Yep,
It
I'm sure. I'm
just makes
sure.
me think. So it kind of just makes me going back to, if somebody considers you to be emotional, like I wouldn't really, I mean, like the more I become emotionally intelligent, I mean, of course you want to be able to be in control of your own emotions. You know, you want to be able to, you know, definitely express yourself, but definitely be in control, like you in controlling your own emotions. But being emotional means that you are living from your heart, from your core to express your,
Mm-hmm.
of course, like again, like there's a time and place to, you can't just be,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
stuff like that. But
yeah. Dysfunctional, you know.
yeah, in a healthy way. There's
Mm-hmm.
always a balance. But yeah, but for me, I didn't really even know what emotional freedom was, like probably 2-3 years ago. I just knew that I didn't like outside factors having, I didn't like if somebody did or said something to me, it shifted me. You know what I'm saying? I
Mm,
wanted to
yeah, yeah, yeah.
a person where if I said, "Hey, today's gonna be a great productive day," then that's what
Yeah.
it is, because it's my day. So like learning to be emotion, having that freedom and that intelligence and that emotional maturity has definitely, it's still a journey. I'm not perfect, I still have that. If
Mm-hmm.
somebody may do something, I can feel it in my gut, and I'm like, oh. But I think it's something that, we bring into, like, and it's a topic that we discuss, and we bring to, um we bring up and we talk about, so people know, like, oh, it's a such thing as being emotionally intelligent or emotionally mature. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And yes, you can strive for emotional freedom.
Yeah, because I feel like even emotional intelligence, emotional mastery, that all comes under, like, even the umbrella of emotional freedom. And it's like when you think about passion,
Mm.
passion relates to the heart as well. It relates to like intense emotion. It relates to, and that's what, like, when you're cultivating emotional freedom, you're often operating in your passion, and your
Mm.
passion is going to lead to your purpose.
Mm-hmm.
So like when you're often when you're operating in your heart center, you may be even in situations where you may not want to be, but because you're operating on this state of passion, you're gonna be naturally guided in the direction that you internally want it to go. You
Mm-hmm.
may not even look like it. So for example, like I was a university student, studying science and studying sports science, and I was going on a path where I didn't really want to, but I mean, I just chose something because I wanted to study it, and I was passionate about health in and how the body can really improve its performance. Like what's the capabilities of us as human beings? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But it wasn't the career path exactly wasn't the one I wanted to take.
Yeah.
But because I was passionate about a certain topic, it took me into different avenues like holistic health and brain health and expanding consciousness and yoga, meditation, all these other things, spirituality. And those are the things where that's where I could find my purpose in terms of empowerment, in terms of empowering people in mind, body, and spirit, and stuff like that.
So,
But
so
it wasn't.
are you saying that our emotions are connected to our intuition and our
Yeah, so I mean, like even about Bob Proctor, he even talks about the mental faculties,
mm-hmm.
and you know, intuition is one of the mental faculties, and and intuition is also connected to your emotion because the brain and the emotions are connected.
Mm-hmm.
And I always say that your intuition is your inner tuition, it's your inner knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
This is like it's something you already know within you. Like,
Mm-hmm.
yo, this is part of what I'm here on earth. Like,
Mm-hmm.
because I mean, has anyone ever wondered, like, what's the cause of why you're here on earth? You're not here for no reason.
Yeah.
But there's certain things that raises your awareness of, maybe let me consider doing this,
Mm-hmm.
or this is something that yeah, I'm passionate about, even though I'm scared, but it's quite exciting. Let me explore this.
Mm-hmm.
But there might sometimes, often there is a bigger play at hand. An unknown force is working on your behalf. That might be spirit guys, that might be your higher self, who knows, ancestors, who knows.
Mm-hmm.
But there's an inner knowledge that's guiding you.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes we have gut feelings, Sometimes we have these things where it it just holds us back. It just like, oh, like you want to do it, but I'm scared, or you want to do it, but I don't even know if it's possible. But there's an inner urge, there's an inner desire to grow. There's an inner desire to see what this can be.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and
So,
often where
so
pe-
my question
people
is,
are not like,
sorry. I just,
you
so my
know,
question is, how can, because I think this is where you were going. How can somebody achieve emotional freedom?
that's a great question. So achieve emotional freedom is really sitting down with yourself and asking yourself, okay, what am I passionate about, or what interests me? You know, it's really it's first it begins as an exploration for real. Like, what am I good at? What am I not good at? What would I like to be good at? Like, just like ask yourself as many questions as you can and explore that and see how you feel when you're doing a certain activity. See beyond like the struggle of that activity. Like understand like what is would you be okay with the end result? Let's say if it worked out, would you be happy with the end result of that activity? You know, like let's say if you just like reading, if you like art, you know, it might take long to draw that piece of that painting or stuff like that. It might be hard to get the right thing you want. But do you know what it could be? And are you okay with that? Are you happy with what the end result could be? Because that's often why you might be doing something creative because you're excited for what it could be.
Hmm.
So it's like it's one of those things where, like for example, with me, um, poetry is quite exciting for me. I mean, it was kind
You
of
haven't done it
it's
before?
actually it's kind of it's a gift. So it's like sometimes I kind of neglect it, but when I go in that zone, I'm in the zone. You know what I mean? It's just
Yeah.
like it's like a natural state. It's like it just flows.
Hmm.
Um, and like it's when I'm doing it, it's not like it don't feel tedious because I know what it could be.
Hmm.
And often we're in a society where we are we're conforming to certain norms of society, and it's like we're not thinking for ourselves. We're not critically thinking for ourselves.
Hmm.
Oftentimes, so we don't even question what could this be or what could this mean. We don't even ask often we don't ask questions. Like I mean, let's not talk about the pandemic and stuff like that. But has anyone really questioned like what are they putting in their system? Like, did people actually question their health before all of this happened? Are they questioning their health now? You know, did people actually think about wealth before this pandemic? Are people thinking about their wealth now? Are they asking themselves those questions? Are they raising their awareness? Because I mean, no one's gonna raise their awareness for you, but we've been fed things for so long that we fail to feed ourselves
Hmm.
what we need, but we don't want to. Often because the things that we need to, we don't want to, and sometimes the things that we want to, we don't need to. But we have to merge. But there has to be a merging, and you have to get into an emotional state where you can get that yin and yang working. So you got like this year, 2022 is about healing. It's about harmony. You know, it's about health, like health in every aspect of our life, health in our finances, health in our emotional state, health in our communications, health in every manner. You
Our
know,
emotions, health in our
health in
emotions.
our emotions. You know,
What I want,
like
I want to add,
expressing, like talking about stuff as well. You know.
I want to add, yeah, I want to add something to that before we wrap up. Um, for me, I feel like emotional freedom is I use this acronym called LIFE: love, inspire, feel, and experience. So I feel like
Mm,
one way to life to get to emotional freedom is to love love authentically. Like if you want to love somebody or if you want to love something, do it. Of course, don't be a weirdo and you know start an obsession over people, but give people
that
love.
part.
Give people love. And
Facts.
I heard something like it's easy to love the people who who are easy to love. But it's hard to love the people who need love because like they're so mean and they're not as receptive. But love those people, or the people who you don't like, still love them. You
Hmm.
know, because that is activating other emotions within you, showing compassion, being vulnerable, right? So love,
Yeah.
inspire, literally live through inspiration. As far as when it comes to emotional freedom, um inspire new things within you, kind of like what you were saying, like sit within yourself and empower yourself through your own thoughts and your own feelings and your own emotions. So that goes also back to feel, right?
Hmm.
The F in life is to feel. So if you are like, the next time something happens, feel that emotion,
Yeah.
sit with and feel and experience, you know, that emotion, you know, that situation, like literally let it sit deep in your core, let it settle in your tummy, like feel that situation. And like I know for me, I remember like as I was beginning to like just cultivate and develop myself, I was like, you know what, I can't say, I need to be emotional, I need to feel different things, I need to experience different situations to know who I am and how I'm going to react, and how I'm going to feel and what emotions is going to bring out of me, so I can know, right? I can't say, oh, I don't like this or I can't
Hmm.
do this. How do I know if I've never given myself permission,
Yeah.
aka empower myself to be an emotional being, to experience and be like, oh, I don't like the way I acted in that situation, so next time if something happened like this, I know how I'm going to react. So definitely experience life. It's an emotional journey. um you know, try different emotions. If you've never, like for me, if you've never cried in front of people. I mean, some I've done lives where tears have just come down. I couldn't control it, but I was like, you know what? I'm gonna be
Yeah.
this experience. Like I know I thought I was never gonna be one of those people who cry on social media, but I'm like, you know what? This is a moment, and this is how I feel. It's coming from a place of love, and I feel like I'm inspiring other people, and so I, you know, let the tears go. So I feel like through love, inspiration, feeling your life experience and experiencing, like not just flowing through life, but actually experiencing your life experience. I think that's a way that you can achieve emotional freedom. And I think it also like helps build who you are as a person. You get more clarity and certainty on who you are as a person. And you begin to learn what your purpose is and who you are as a person, and to be you. So that's how I think you can achieve emotional freedom. Do you have anything to add to that, Demand?
I love it. So, I mean, we're just gonna end, but one thing I'm gonna give you about five things that everyone on this call can leave with in terms of emotional freedom. So, number one, talk about it, or you can, and yeah, it doesn't have to be verbal. It can be verbal to yourself, but it can be on paper as well. Because for me, a way of me expressing and becoming more emotionally free was actually writing things down. Like
Mm,
that's how my poetry unfolded and stuff like that.
definitely agree
So
with that.
you can speak to someone if you're someone who likes to speak, just speak, And if you're someone who likes to write, just write it down, journal it,
Mm,
whatever you have to do. That's one thing. Number two is stay active, because when you move the body
mm,
starts to feel better. Movement is king. So 30 minutes a day, do some walking, do some whatever. You know. Number three is take breaks.
that's your favorite.
Take take, take breaks. You know what? I used to be someone who didn't take breaks. But I'm starting to like breaks because just give me that I do like every day. I had 10 minutes of silent meditation, sitting down, doing nothing. Genius. My day goes amazingly after that. Um, Number four, get some sleep, but
Definitely.
like make sure it's adequate sleep. Like you
That's
want
my
to hydrate well and sleep well. And number five is learn something. Stimulate your brain with something that's going to be serving your highest good. If you're stuck in an environment of low minded thinkers, that are pulling your vibration down and disturbing you from rising to that state of joy, which is the highest scale of the on emotional guidance scale, which is stagnating you from healing. Learn about ways to rise to that occasion. Learn, stimulate your brain. We also have a cognition training system that I use every day, which helps stimulate my brain. If you want to know more about that, just let me know. DM us, you know.
Send a
But
DM.
learn something. Learn something. Read a book, you know. Read a book on something that you're passionate about. Learn and stimulate your brain. So those are the five. Those are five things.
Awesome.
And yeah,
So, um, emotional freedom, y'all, like it's a beautiful thing to experience. It's definitely a journey. But I think again, it's something important that we should talk more about and strive to achieve. We definitely want to know what was your biggest takeaway from this video.
mhm.
Share it with us in the comments. If you were watching live, drop a 1 in the comment. If you're watching the replay, drop a 2. And y'all, we will see y'all next week on Totem Freedom Thursdays. See you in the next video.
Take care, everyone.